Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Monday Weekend Wrap-Up, episode 26. Yes, we've come a long way. 27. We've come a longer way than 5 minutes ago when I said 26. It's amazing. The pace at which this show is moving is unbelievable. Almost half a year, more than half a year now. We began at the January transfer window, and we are nearing the end of the summer transfer window. And we are so glad to be joined by you, chat, fans of football, and football shows. So give yourselves a hand up. Give yourselves a hand. All right. Joining us tonight, we have two very special guests, friends of the show. First up, coming in from Ohio, United States of America, we have Hoff. Welcome in, Hoff. How you doing?
Hello. Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Guys, as you can tell, Hoff is facing some technical difficulties, and he is, but despite those difficulties, he's coming into us from his iPad. Love the dedication and really appreciate that, Hoff. Yes.
Wouldn't miss it.
Awesome. Also, joining us, as always, his 27th appearance on the show. We have straight from race commentary over at the New World Sim Racing channel. We have Milothe1st. Milo, how are you, buddy?
I am good, thank you. Sorry if I delayed the show by a minute or so, but I got here as quick as I could.
You're fine. You're absolutely fine. Right on time. A little delay doesn't hurt anybody. Let's take a look at what we got going on in the show, and let's get right into it tonight. You know, we got a lot to talk about, a lot of things to do. First up, our topics for tonight. We have United, unrecognizable today. We'll be talking about that game today. Also, a recent signing they just brought into the club. Also, be talking a little Mardi Gras. We'll be talking a certain top of the league club doing very well. Right, 3 games in, fantastic play by them. Then we'll talk a little more Premier League football, and we're gonna do something special this week. We're gonna talk some European football. We're gonna be talking about football on the continent. All your favorite leagues, we'll be talking about it. Well, all your favorite leagues, if they happen to be the 3 that we're talking about. Also, we'll do a little open panel, a little buffer time. If anyone has questions, please ask us. I'll be reviewing some of the top fantasy players as well this week. We have a couple interesting calls to take a look at. One of them we may have already seen on stream, but there's a couple other ones that we'll take a look at this weekend. Some interesting offside calls. Also, now I remember why I wrote slideshow quiz. It's because it's a quiz for the slideshow. Later. If you're a Liverpool fan, you don't want to miss that. If you're a Liverpool fan, you do not want to miss that. It is for the Liverpool fans. I'm trying to get equal opportunity winners
now, bro.
Yeah,
it all makes sense.
I was wondering why I wrote slideshow quiz. And then, as always, we have our weekly check-in, where we'll be reviewing our personal weeks and anything coming up on the show. And extra time this week, we are doing, Tottenham, Nottingham Forest? I forgot to write that down. Is that what it is? That's the match we're gonna get your predictions in for Tottenham, Nottingham Forest towards the end of the show. We have our Liverpool United predictions ready to review right now, and let's hop straight in to our first topic of the evening. A quite unrecognizable United side today played Liverpool at Old Trafford. United win 2-1. Goals from Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford, with Mohamed Salah answering late on and making a interesting last 10-ish minutes of the game. First off, let's talk about earlier in the week, they signed Casemiro. Let's just quickly talk about Casemiro and his significance to this United squad. What are your general thoughts and feelings about the signing of Casemiro? Hoff, what are you thinking?
I'm kind of torn about it. I feel like I guess in order to get him, they'd have to pay him a lot, and B, I feel like they paid Madrid a lot. I'm not. I understand why they did it. I don't know if it's the right move. And he may be fantastic. I'm not saying he's a proven player, a proven winner. But he's also been playing with two of the best central midfielders of the last 10 years on either side of him, which helps. And he's not going to have that at Man United.
Absolutely.
To be nice. But I think he will give the center back some much needed cover. I think that you will see any combination, whoever Ten Hag decides to play at center back, I think you'll see an uptick in their form as well.
Absolutely. Milo, what are your thoughts about Casemiro signing?
I think it's a solid signing for United. I mean, like, there isn't many teams that couldn't use him, right? 30 years old, experienced head. If you're going to go with that younger team offensively that you showed today, then he may well be even more important to what Ten Hag does going forward. So, yeah, I think it's a solid signing. I was dubious at first, like, you know, everyone's screaming for them to spend money and then they go do that. But, you know, if that position was always a target for you this summer, so filled it, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we brought up an interesting point in our discussions before the show. Do you think this was a reaction to the Glazers out protests going on, and before the game today, and just over this week, with all these Jim Ratcliffe being rumored, you know, mega billionaire and all this stuff? Some people were saying that we were focused on Rabiot and Arnautovic, and now that you know, the protest has amplified, now we've gone to Casemiro and you know, I don't know who else was linked, but pretty interesting stuff. Maybe interesting timing. Do you think that played into it at all, the protests?
I don't, because I think their plan was to get a defensive midfielder, defensive-minded midfielder, and that's what they've done. I think everyone knows the number one target. That wasn't going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. So okay, well, I agree. They're looking for a DMF. You know, that defensive holding mid. He'll slide in nicely in there. You know, is Eriksen and Bruno his partners? It'll be interesting to see who he gets paired up with in the midfield. McTominay started today with Eriksen. Let's move on to the game. Yeah, McTominay, Eriksen, Maguire benched, Ronaldo benched. What were your general, if you can remember, what were your general thoughts before the match began today? When you saw Maguire and Ronaldo benched, Hoff, did you
I thought it was a good shakeup.
Yeah.
Because I mean, sometimes you gotta, and Maguire's still the captain, so to bench him, that's saying something. Benching Ronaldo, I think it's saying a little less, just because he seems to be the scapegoat, I guess. Whether he rightly or wrongly, he seems to be that, taking the brunt of a lot of the anger. So I thought it was smart, actually.
Yeah. Milo, any thoughts on Ten Hag's lineup choice?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting, but again, to echo Hoff, you needed to shake something up, right? And I think dropping CR7 now is not as big a statement as it would have been dropping CR7 10 years ago, right? It's not that kind of statement, but it's still a bit of a statement because he is who he is. So you drop him, you drop Maguire, who's captain, if I'm not wrong.
Club captain, right? Yep.
Yeah, so you drop your club captain. That's always a big one. I mean, we've done that at Arsenal with Ozil, Sanchez, Aubameyang. You know, the list goes on. You know, that's always a statement too. I mean, I'm sure we're going to get into the game, and you can come back to me after you've after your guys' thoughts, because I do, I've a few thoughts on the game itself, but yeah, I think it was the right thing to do for Ten Hag.
Yeah, I'll kind of go on my little spiel here if you guys don't mind. I think it was a great, brave decision. I was mentioning it earlier in the stream. Is once you take Maguire out of the squad, Maguire's been in the squad so much that we've been able to look at him and say, it's his fault, or we're not able to play the way we want because of him. And in the back of my mind, I was like, what if we take him out and we just don't perform or something? And it's just that could be even we've built it up as Maguire is such a big problem that when he comes out of the team, what's going to happen? It better be good. And I thought it was very, very interesting to see Ten Hag pick the team he did. He picked Elanga. He played a half, comes off for Martial, and then we have Martial, Sancho, and Rashford. And those three up front have the capability to press, and it was really nice to see that. Just my thoughts on the game. United coming on a 2-game loss streak, Liverpool on a 2-game draw streak. Liverpool with tons of injuries. Just their midfield, the midfield of, who was it, Milner, Henderson, and young Harvey Elliott. It's just a tough situation. Joe Gomez and Van Dijk paired up at the back as well. I wouldn't say this is by any means Liverpool's first team. Darwin Núñez. Honestly, I don't know if Darwin Núñez's miss was as big of a deal. But I do feel that, we had a lot of focused energy today. I thought the new signings, Malaysia, Martinez, and Eriksen were all very solid. Malaysia and Martinez, they're on the ball. They're just perfect on the ball, in my opinion. Energy levels. Martinez, showed his strength and aggression. Liverpool were playing well. I think they lacked it in the final third. I do feel my last thought about, obviously Jadon Sancho, great goal. Rashford, great finish. We'll talk about the offside during the decision room section of the stream. We'll talk about that offsides and why it was so close. But I'm just really happy that we have a modern day manager. Jose Mourinho, Louis van Gaal, you could argue, were a little bit more old school. David Moyes was, it feels like he was a bit of a stepping stone. Obviously Ferguson is an old school manager. We have a modern day manager who, given the correct signings, will play modern attacking football, possession-based football. And he also showed today that he can sit out without possession and counter, which is a very, very strong display, I think, from our team. I do feel that Varane and Martinez did play well. Varane was, you could tell he was, I don't know if it's because Casemiro was signed or this was his opportunity to take that spot from Maguire, but he was playing unbelievably well. And I'm curious to see, we saw Varane and Martinez cramping up in the second half, and I'm curious to see how everyone reacts to these high energy level kind of matches. We last week we were outrun 12 kilometers. This week we outran Liverpool by 2 kilometers. I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going to happen next week. It's only one game. I said before the match that even if we lose, all I want to see is a good performance, and we got a good performance, and top it off with a win is nothing like it. But yeah, those are my feelings, just kind of spilt there on the game. I don't know if anyone has any thoughts you want to talk about. Yeah, go for it.
I do. So I want to preface this by saying it's going to sound like I'm taking it all away from Man United, and that's not what I'm doing. So I don't want anyone to get too carried away or excited about that. I'm not taking anything away from them. I thought, young forward group played well. It seemed to be more, the team that more up for it right from the get-go. I thought the goal was coming. You know what I mean? I think defensively, Liverpool were a shambles in that first 20 minutes, and I don't know. I don't know. VVD, I'm not sure quite what's going on there. I don't know the ins and outs of Liverpool. I know they got a lot of injury problems. I think their squad is chopping and changing so much. They haven't been able to build up any kind of cohesion as a unit that they would normally get. And I just thought, you guys were ripping them to shreds. And like I said, I don't want to take anything away from the youngsters of United, but I do think Liverpool's team selection and fitness levels and all the rest of it played a big part. I thought the defending for Sancho's opener, nice, cool finish by Sancho. Again, I said this in my Discord, like, very cool finish, but again, horrendously defended. The VVD memes are everywhere. I don't know if you've seen it, but they're using
skating,
that. Yeah, they're using that image all over the place. It's being superimposed everywhere. But yeah, I enjoyed the game, to be honest. But yeah, I thought it was it was a game that both teams needed to win. But I think United needed to win it a little bit more, and they got the job done. So if it was me, I'd be happy with that and move on. I mean, your next game is Southampton in the league. That will be a test to see have you put these troubles to bed, because if you have, you'll smash them.
Yeah. If
you lose 2-0 to them, you know what I mean, then it might be like, okay, it was a blip. So
I definitely agree. Yeah, this is not Liverpool, but also I don't know if Liverpool what they are without. First off, their midfield is aged. They haven't really replaced them with much. Everyone's injured. I understand. There's a bunch of people injured, but also removing Mane from the squad changes the identity of Liverpool. So we'll see.
I think they miss him big time.
Yeah, definitely. That threat on Diaz. I got to be honest. I thought we handled Salah and Diaz pretty well. Ilanga and Malaysia on Salah, and Sancho helping out quite a bit on.
I'm sure you have
Salah. That's it. Yeah.
I'm sure you have some on this, Hoff, too. But yeah, talking about Diaz, I was like, I had him in my fantasy team, and I'm like, where are those dynamic, exciting runs from him? Like, he just wasn't trying to take anybody on. It was a very lethargic performance, and I don't know, maybe that was Klopp saying, let's just slow it down, keep possession. It just didn't work.
Yeah. Hoff, any thoughts there?
I think I mentioned it after the Fulham game, the first game of the season for Liverpool. If I didn't, I know I thought it, but now it's been 2 out of the 3 games so far that Van Dijk has looked mortal. When he's been like the best defender, if not the best defenders in the world over the past 5-6 years, maybe not 4 or 5 years. I think his decline is gonna. It's. I mean, we're seeing it now. I would be worried if I was a Liverpool fan, but mostly because he's the linchpin of your center 4, your back 4, and if his form doesn't improve, if he doesn't regain his form, I should say, they're in trouble. Especially with the midfield, whatever is happening there with the injuries. They're playing a different midfield every game, it seems like. So I have concern. Well, personally, I hope Liverpool don't win another game, but if I'm a Liverpool fan, I would be concerned.
Yeah. Well, I would say, Liverpool is such a machine when they're in full swing that, for example, that year they didn't have VVD. They were pretty poor. Without Fabinho sitting there, right? They don't really have a strong replacement for Fabinho. Fabinho sitting right in front of him. When you go from Fabinho to Henderson in that holding role, I think you do lose a little bit. And these guys are getting older. It's an aging midfield. They haven't really replaced them. I'm not a Liverpool expert. I tweeted earlier when I was talking about the show is that we need to find someone that can talk some Liverpool for us. And their thoughts on this midfield. I know, on paper they're fine, but I'm not personally overjoyed by Thiago in the Premier League. But you know, if injuries are the issue, it's understandable. But I also think that United played with crazy energy, and I think even a full strength Liverpool, it would have been a good. I think we would have held our own. I honestly believe that. Now, it's just one game, and it is what it is. You know, we had a lot of pressure on us to perform at home, protests, Casemiro signing, all that stuff. But we'll see. I'm really not like overjoyed. I just wanted a good performance, and we got it. Really happy from the new signings. Really happy.
What you just said about the energy from Manchester United, that's like the hallmark of a Klopp team. Normally, is where they're just flying around everywhere after getting the ball back after loose ball 50-50s. And so it's kind of it's a little shocking to see that how they react to it.
Well, to be honest, I think that's also the hallmark of a classic United team too. So it's nice. It's really nice to see that. You know, like it's been a while. I mean, you know, maybe just because of the recent results, it feels like it's been a while. But you know, just roars for tackles. You know, Martinez, Malaysia going in for tackles. Rashford. You know, just things like this.
You guys were hanging Rashford out to dry 6 months ago.
I was.
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
This season though, I have been mentioning that Rashford looks more focused. You know, he looks like he's playing with more conviction. This whole season, I've been saying it, and I was so happy to see him get a goal. We'll talk about the whether it was offside or onside a little later. But I was, we were chatting in Discord while it was happening, and some people were saying onside, offside. I was just saying onside, offside. I don't care. The fact that he tucked it away and put it on the net made me happy because he's been putting in these performances this whole season so far, all through preseason, and I'm glad he's getting some goals. Any other thoughts, guys? I'm just gonna catch up with chat while if you guys want to chat about anything.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, for me, it's how you play in the next two games. The one after that is Arsenal. So let's talk Southampton and Leicester. You know what I mean? Like, if you put in that same performance, then I think you can say, okay, this is what we were looking for. I like I said, I don't want to take anything away from United because I was impressed by how they started that game and you went on to win it. But like Liverpool's defense lost for that first half an hour. I was, wow, what is happening? Like positionally, they were players getting in behind them left, right, and center. It was really, really bizarre. Not what I expected to see.
Yeah, I think.
At what point does Trent become a non-defensive player? I mean,
exactly.
Sorry, he is a non-defensive player right now, but when is he gonna put him at I don't even know, like a midfield or maybe even a attacking winger? I don't know. No, because he can't do it defensively.
The spaces you're talking about, there were. I mean, I can probably 4 or 5 times I remember clearly that we just, Bruno got the ball and right away, bang, trying to hit that space behind Trent. You're talking about the space behind the back four. It's when Liverpool plays with those attacking fullbacks and they can't keep possession, that space is going to be there. And if we're defending well, we're pressing pretty high and stuff like that. But anyways, it's
Somebody
only
just
one
knocked
game.
my door. Sorry, give me a second.
Go for it. Like I said, it's only one game. I don't think it's. I'm honestly not overjoyed. I'm proud of the performance. I'm happy with it. I'm really not overjoyed. I'm like at this point where it's like, okay, can you do it again? Can you do it again?
Right.
That's as far. That's where I'm thinking. I'm not that. I'm happy, but I'm not that happy because I know that we could turn around and just put in a shit performance next week, and maybe the next week, and then the Twitter apologies come out from Rashford and Maguire. Like this whole thing. I'm not at all tricked by this type of win. Though the energy and the performance was very good. And one thing we talked a little bit about it last week. Just last thing before we move on, we've spent a little bit of time on this. We talked about whether Ten Hag would change his philosophy, and he did. Right, he did. He played a lot of long balls with De Gea, nothing into the 6, basically ever. Everything was long, and we didn't play with a single 6. We played with a bit of a double pivot. It wasn't a recognizable, distinguishable single 6, which was good to see as well. I see a lot of good things in chat, guys. A lot of good stuff in chat. And I agree with almost everything you guys are saying. It's just we gotta move on to the next section of the show. Maybe during the open panel, if you guys want to throw out your thoughts, we can kind of get to them. Or if Hoff and Mal, if you guys catch anything, just feel free to just blurt it out next time.
Sure.
But yeah, let's move on. We spent enough time here, although I could talk all night about this. Let's move on to Arsenal. Arsenal, the Premier League's top of the table team after 3 games, with another amazing dominant performance over Bournemouth. Goals from Odegaard and what was it? Saliba. From him. That was pretty good stuff from Arsenal. I'll just ask Milo, what are your general thoughts and feelings about Arsenal in that game against Bournemouth?
I mean, these are the kind of games that we've struggled in before. Go away to Bournemouth early in the season. All I'm looking for is a comfortable win, and we got it. I literally could not have asked for anything else. I'm not getting carried away. Great to have played 3-1-3. We know how important it is to not drop points, and when teams are dropping points around you, you have to be able to capitalize. That starts week 1, and I feel like we're doing the right thing. So obviously we know once we get to Christmas, we're going to have a much better idea of how the league's shaping up and who's in that battle, who's in that fight. But all the time you take one game at a time and try to win it, get those 3 points, then we're good. And I really think Arteta's focus is one game at a time. Whether the players are buying into it or not, I don't know. But the performances are much better than they've been for a long, long time. Odegaard's goals were fairly routine finishes, but really important for him because he's been getting some critics have been talking about how he doesn't take chances and yada, yada, yada. I feel like it was nice for him to get on the score sheet, kind of answer that. Saliba's goal was lovely. It was with his off foot there, left foot. I mean, I think it was a bit fortunate to go in, but he'll claim he meant it, of course. Zinchenko's reaction to it was pretty funny.
Yes.
He kind of dropped to his knees.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, who knows what? They seem to have a great team spirit before the game. That the huddle, everything looks great, right? And that's what I said to you last week is all the time the team's doing and playing like this and being like this, it's fantastic. It's adversity that will be what defines this team this season, whether that's key injuries, a scrap with Jurgen Klopp and Arteta on the sideline again, right. A nasty tackle somewhere, or whatever it might be. During the ups and downs of a season, there's going to be adversity, and it's how we respond to that. And obviously, if we keep winning these games, because we've had a nice start here, if we keep winning them, when we get to those big games, it gives you that leeway, doesn't it? You know what I mean? It gives you that leeway that it might not be a key fixture or as key fixture. So, there's a lot of people praying for their downfall, I'm sure. But you know what? I'm just quietly sitting here like lovely jubbly. But that Saliba song will probably get annoying after this season.
Yeah,
maybe.
I was trying to, to be honest, when I first heard it during the game, I was like, who are they saying? It didn't occur to me it was Saliba. I can never understand what they're saying in those chants, to be honest, on TV. I never know what they're saying. And I was like trying to like hum to myself, Xhaka. I was like, no, it can't be Xhaka. I was trying to figure out who they're saying. Hoff, did you see any of the game?
Yeah, I did actually.
Yeah.
I was texting back and forth with an Arsenal buddy of mine, and
it wasn't me.
No, it wasn't. He's ready to get his title tattoo, and I said I'll pay for it if you do.
There you go.
I mean, for me, they're meeting expectations. You should win those 3 games, and they've looked pretty good doing it. Yeah, that's about what I expect. Saliba's goal was really good. The Bournemouth keeper, he tried. I'll put it that way. But yeah, I was a little. I guess I didn't expect a lot from Bournemouth, but they also didn't show a lot. I thought they'd have. I should say I expected more from their attack, but I guess when you have Kiefer Moore as your focal point, that might happen against better teams. You might get away with that against well, I almost said Burnley, but they're gone. Thank goodness. But against like maybe I don't know, Forrest, it's hard because the promoted teams are doing relatively well. But yeah, I don't. I think they might be in trouble. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
Well, I mean, though, like these games, even in seasons where we've done okay, call it the top 4 era, where Wenger got us into the top 4 repeatedly, we would go and play Bournemouth away and we'd lose that 1-0. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
or we'd win 1-0, and it would be, you know, a last-minute goal or an early goal and then struggle to score and be on the back foot. The fact that we've gone out for the first 3 games and played, you know, exciting attacking football, and we've scored 9 goals. 9, is it? Yeah, 9 goals in 3 games.
Yeah.
Like, that's really good.
It is.
Like 9 goals in 3 games to start the league. Like, that is definitely something you can build off of. And I think it's hard to. Our next 2 games are Fulham and Villa, and I'm expecting another 6 points from those. The way we're playing and the way they're playing. I mean, I think Fulham will be a tough game, and I think that Villa. I just the way they're playing, I think we could comfortably go do that, and then we'll face Man United at Old Trafford. So, and we'll see what shape you're in.
Yeah, that'll be that's the first kind of a big game for both teams. I think that United game.
You're not counting today as a big game?
Oh yeah, true. Today. Sorry, for Arsenal, it's a big game. Arsenal's first big game. I was just gonna say, I don't think I've seen Arsenal with a player I haven't seen an Arsenal team with a Gabriel Jesus like attitude on your team in a while. Someone he's playing like he has a chip on his shoulder and he has something to prove, which, you know,
Alexis Sanchez would be the last one.
Okay,
for those couple of seasons, he was amazing. Like,
okay,
he was really, really.
But it's great to see. It's great to see, and you know, he's kind of an X factor in my mind. You know, he's a bit of an unknown quantity now because he just keeps performing so well week in, week out with so much focus. And when you have that at the top of your team, you know, it's anything can happen. And you know, there's no reason to doubt that as long as certain key players on your team are focused, you never know what can happen. Especially like you know, with Zinchenko playing well game in, game out. But like to what you were saying, I do think, you know, when a little adversity hits, what is their balance? You know, like what is their ability to recover, come back onto track and resume? You know, maybe they take a loss. You know, do they go on a little run of poor results or not? You know, it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, it's highly likely that will happen at some point. You will maybe draw a game, or maybe you'll be, you know, down 1-0 in the 60th minute or something. Stuff like, I feel like you guys have just been so in control of games with your energy, with your youthful energy, that at some point there's gonna be that testing period of time in a game. Even I would say against Crystal Palace, you guys were up against the wall a little bit when you guys had the lead as well, and you guys were able to get through that. But it'll be interesting to see, you know, if someone nicks a goal early on in a game, and you know, or maybe in the, you know, well, there are more roads in this league for you know, for Arsenal to take, and I don't think, you know, they haven't been fully tested, but they're playing very well. They're playing very well. Like, just like, you know, you're talking not to take anything from United's performance. I'm not trying to take anything away from Arsenal, but there are certain things that I want to see. Just like, Pep Guardiola, I want to see him do certain things, and then I'll be like, okay, this guy's for real. Arsenal, I want to see this squad go through some things, and then I'll know they're for real as well. Yeah. Jesus is an excellent signing. People forget that Arteta knows him from his days as assistant manager. True. Highly true. Spurs still looking better than Arsenal, though. Okay. Hey, what's up, Diego? Okay, let's keep it moving. Speaking of Spurs, Spurs defeated Wolves, and we'll talk a little bit of the rest of the league as well. Spurs defeated Wolves early Saturday morning. Hoff, did you catch any of that game? I got to be honest, I didn't see the full game. I saw some of the goals, but yeah.
You saw the goal.
The goal. Sorry, the
goal. Yeah, I did. Perisic got his first start. He looked lost in the first half. To be fair, most of the squad looked lost in the first half. In the second half, it was a completely different team. Perisic was a completely different player, and I think Conte said after the match, "That's the Perisic I know from Inter. That's why we signed him." Son has still been off of it for me. For all 3 games so far, I don't know if it's just fatigue or what, but he's just not been the player that he was last year yet. And Kane popped up with a goal off a set piece again. So that's 2 set piece goals in the last 2 weeks. So the set piece coach is working. That's nice. I'm trying to think who else stood out for me. Actually, for Wolves, I thought Guedes was pretty good. Wolves were more attacking than I thought they would be. I think they kind of have a reputation to just kind of sit back and maybe get a 1-0, but they actually went for it, and it was interesting to see Podence starting as the main striker. You don't see that terribly often with a guy of his size. But yeah, and Pedro Neto is really good. I like watching him play. He's a fun player to watch.
He's been linked with Arsenal, by the way. Pedro Neto.
Oh, I hate him. He's terrible.
What are your feelings about? Would you? To me, I didn't see the Wolves game. It was a little early on Saturday for me, but the first 2 games of the season, Spurs haven't really been on firing. Well, that game against Chelsea, they weren't firing on all cylinders, and it seems like in this Wolves game, they weren't really firing on all cylinders either. I think that'd be a fair assessment.
Yeah.
Do you feel like them grinding these results out when they're kind of out of form, maybe C form, hovering on D, B form, in eFootball terms? Do you think they will? Do you think this is a sign of good character and stuff like that? Like, what do you like defensively sound?
I think going back to the Chelsea game last week, I think that was a good indicator of the mentality that Conte has instilled. Because when Chelsea went 2-1 up, I was like, oh shit, here come like 3 more. Because that would be what would happen previously. Like, oh, it's 2, then it becomes, and then at the end of the game, it's like 4-1. You're like, what the hell happened?
Right.
Ended up getting a point out of that. And then on Saturday against Wolves, at halftime, I wasn't feeling like we were going to lose, but I was feeling like, I don't know if there's a goal in this game. But that's why that's why set pieces are so important, because even when you're not like playing well, it's easy, or I shouldn't say easy. I think it's easier. You don't have to be in great form to score a header off of a free kick.
Wait a minute, Gareth Southgate just showed up, joined the show.
I'll take his paycheck. But yeah, to answer your question, I think it does. It gives me confidence in the squad that you can get, because from these 3 matches last year, we got 0 points, and we've got 7 from them this year. So that's already a 7-point difference that we're working with. But yeah, I think that it boils down to the Conte effect for me. Because those are easily games that could have been losses or draws.
Yeah. Well, moving on to Chelsea. Chelsea lose 3-0 to away to Leeds. Leeds coming out with a crazy, like we've been just talking about energy, you know. Leeds coming out with crazy energy, just catching Chelsea flat-footed. I'm not a Leeds fan, but they have Tyler Adams, Aronson, and Jesse March as the coach. I love to see these guys doing well, you know. But Koulibaly picking up 2 pretty silly yellow cards. He'll be out of their next game. Milo, did you catch any of the Leeds Chelsea game, or any thoughts on that one?
Extended highlights. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I did. I think that game was on early as well, and so it was a 6 a.m. Sunday game, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, like so I was not getting up for that one, but yeah, interesting. It's silly for Koulibaly, as you said. And it's just interesting, right? Last week he scored this great goal, and everyone was talking how great he was, and then this week he gets off. It's just the highs and lows of a Premier League footballer.
Yeah.
3-0 for Leeds. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think I'd added Rodrigo to my FPL team, so I was pretty happy about that.
Nice.
Yeah, I think I made some other mistakes, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, it's yeah, I mean, a big result for Leeds, disappointing result for Chelsea. They'll be looking to bounce back, but I just, man, they need to something. Who do they sign though? They need a center forward, like, desperately.
So Aubameyang's linked today, I think 25 plus 5 or something like that. So you know,
don't think he's the answer. He'll grab him a few, but
yeah,
he comes with his own set of challenges.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys remember when Tuchel was appointed? It wasn't the beginning of this season, right? Or no, was it beginning of this? He came in and then he took him to won the Champions League with him, right? That same season. So he's been almost 2 years now, I think. I want to say.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. You never know. With the Chelsea manager, this is about the lifespan. You know, we're getting close to it. We're approaching it now. You know, it's not like, you know, Ten Hag after 2 games, we're talking, you know, people calling, he's not going to feel the pressure of being sacked. But at Chelsea, you know, you go a couple bad performances and then, you know, things start happening. But yeah, so Chelsea faltered to Leeds. They have Leicester away next week. Hopefully they can right things there. Other matches, we had City Newcastle yesterday. Really exciting game. Newcastle were up 3-1, I believe. And in the span of a couple minutes, City came up and drew level 3-3. Hoff, did you catch any of that game?
I caught a little bit of it. Yeah, mostly the highlights. I think Newcastle are gonna surprise a lot of people. I like how they play. I like what Eddie Howe's done. And I'm big Joe Linton and Bruno fan. I love both of those guys. And Trippier, obviously. Yeah, I think I like it when teams play teams that are higher level than them and they just don't care. They don't give them the respect that the higher team thinks they deserve, and they just go at them. I really like it when Fulham and Liverpool, the first game of the year. I like it when games like that happen. And yeah, I hope Newcastle continue the form because they're fun to watch. You can talk about the ownership and stuff and the oil derby, whatever. I like watching them play.
Absolutely. Couple of other results I'll just kind of read over. Brighton defeat West Ham 2-0. Palace defeat Villa 3-1 with a bit of a controversial penalty given in that one. We'll be looking at that one a little later in the show. Nottingham Everton 1-1 draw. Onana, the big 6'5" new signing for Everton, making his debut. Everton catching a late goal. Dwight McNeil, some fans were calling, well, Alan Hansen, for any of you guys who don't know, Alan Hansen was calling for Dwight McNeil to play a little earlier in the game, and he mentioned that the lack of a striker was evident today. Rondon probably not the answer at his age up front for the Toffees. Also, closer to my heart, Fulham beat Brentford 3-2. Another Mitrovic late winner. Mitrovic said, did you hear what Mitrovic said? He said, what did he say?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, what was it, Bob? I forget.
He said that he should be or is Ivan Toney's idol.
Idol, yeah, that's what it was. He said he's Ivan Toney's idol. That's pretty great. Southampton defeat Leicester. Leicester's continuing their poor form, and actually we didn't really mention it, but Yuri Tielemans, he's still being linked to Arsenal. A couple weeks left of the transfer window, and let's see. I think that's all the games for this week. Anything you guys want to comment on before we move on to some other things in the Prem?
No, I'm good. I watched that whole City Newcastle game, and yeah, I was kind of bummed that Newcastle couldn't see it through.
Yeah.
I was like, just again, with the whole people dropping points, us capitalizing. That's on my mind,
Yep. All right, well, let's move on to the next section, guys. We have a brand new section due to popular demand. We are talking European football, guys. European football. I'll let you guys. I'll get it. I'll start with. I'm gonna be doing La Liga this week and maybe next week. Well, I don't know. Well, I'm doing La Liga. Basically, Hoff's got Bundesliga and Milo's got Serie. I apologize to the Portuguese and Dutch fans.
The French.
And the French.
That's fine. Don't worry about the French.
Maybe when we have guests on the show, they can give us a roundup and stuff like that. But just quickly, I wrote some notes. I'll try to go quickly. Let's see if I can do it. All right. So first off, we had Barcelona. De Jong playing Barcelona versus Real Sociedad. De Jong got the start with Pedri and Gavi right in front of them. That was the midfield three. De Jong probably thinking, this is what he came to Barcelona for, to play in that sitting role for Barcelona. And what does he do? He gives away the ball for the first goal, and that leads to they go down 1-0. Or no, after going up 1-0 with a Lewandowski first, I think 46th second goal he scored. But then also Lewandowski later scored. It's his 34th birthday as well. They ended up winning 4-1. They're now up to 5th in La Liga. Real Madrid, they defeated Celta de Vigo 4-1. They are one of, I think, 4 teams with a 100% record in La Liga. Well, it's only been 2 games, but Luka Modric with a beautiful curler on the day Casemiro was announced leaving. I'm just going to write a headline and say he hit that for Casemiro. Atletico Madrid versus Villarreal. This is Unai Emery's first win in 16 attempts versus Diego Simeone. Arsenal linked Yermi Pino broke the deadlock late in the second half. It was a very tight game with Morata getting a great chance in the first half. Gerard Moreno scoring late on after a Diego Simeone team, big surprise, goes down to 10 men. We had Atletico Bilbao. They recorded their first win in their last 7 games against Valencia, 1-0. And Iker Munian has made his 500th appearance for the club, which is pretty fantastic. Atletico Bilbao, very, very dedicated to their homegrown youth and talent. Pretty cool to see that. They're doing pretty well in La Liga. Betis defeat Mallorca 2-1 away. Osasuna have won their first 2 games of La Liga since 1981, defeating Cadiz with 2 penalties from Argentinian Kimi Avila. So that's pretty exciting for Osasuna fans. They're usually in a relegation battle, so off to a good start for them. Espanyol lost 2-0 against Rayo Vallecano. Vallecano in match day 1 drew against Barcelona, a little upset there. So Vallecano's off to a great start. In the first half, a bit eventful, a bit scrappy. Both teams got a red card. Florian Lejeune picking up 2 yellow cards in the space of 2 minutes. It was a tripping and an elbowing, which is just, when I bet, I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you do that in professional football. I don't know. And then Sergio Gomez picked up a red card as well. And the last game, Sevilla and Valladolid, they played out to a 1-1 draw. Late on in the game, Valladolid takes the lead in the 80th minute, and then an absolute howler from Sergio Asenjo. You know, it was almost like that one with the Leicester keeper, I think, against Arsenal, where he kind of went up and kind of just dropped the ball or something, and it just fell. And Sevilla equalized in the 86th minute, and Eric Lamela, former Tottenham guy, was the man of the match in that game. Yeah, so La Liga is only 2 games in. Barcelona sitting at 5th. Madrid tied for 1st, alongside Villarreal. Pretty good early doors. Well, I'm excited to follow Barcelona's season and Real Madrid as well. How the new midfield is going to come into the squad. That's the big question, is how is Tchouaméni gonna slide into that Casemiro role? I'm really curious to see how it works out in the Champions League as well for them. And Barcelona, today this weekend they started with De Jong and Gavi and Pedri in the midfield. I think on paper in video game land that's what I would do, but we'll see how it works out. I don't know if Frenkie can play in that single pivot, though. It was Pedri and De Jong it was a bit of a double pivot, but it wasn't he wasn't playing like a true Busquets, but it was a bit of Pedri dropped pretty deep. And in that game, we had a Dembele incident, which we will take a look at yesterday. Or we took a look at yesterday, but we'll take a look today as well. And we'll get the chat's opinion on what you feel the foul should have been called. All right. That's my La Liga spiel. Let's move on to who wants to go? Bundesliga, Serie.
I can go if you want.
Serie. All right. Let's do some Serie.
Mine's definitely not as in-depth as yours. I've focused mostly on the top of the table. So,
Okay.
2 games in. But,
okay.
Yeah, so Milan coming from a goal down against Atalanta. Also, I didn't have a chance to type my notes up, so I'm reading these. I was making notes and watching highlights today.
Gotcha.
And reading articles. So, come from behind to get the draw. 1 win, 1 draw on the season. 2 games in. It's really early in Serie A, but a decent performance. Milan were the better team throughout. I watched an extended highlights package of this. I did not watch the full game. Big game of the weekend was Napoli, 4-0 over Monza. Dominant performance, but the player I want to talk about now, I'm going to butcher his name.
Okay.
Yes.
If no one knows who this kid is, he is a Georgian 21-year-old, and it's pronounced Kvaratskhelia. Okay, but it's spelled like Kvaratskhelia. So like Kvaratskhelia is how the commentator was saying it. Now the Napoli fans are calling him Faradona already. 21 years old. Yeah, I think he has 3 goals, 2 assists in the first 2 games. He's just got to Serie A. His first goal against Monza was an absolute screamer. Worth checking out, actually. So yeah, one maybe for the future. I've already made a note for my Football Manager games coming up in the winter. Yep. I will be picking this kid up for sure. Also notable mention to Osimhen, who I thought was just dangerous, threatening all the time, the whole game. I watched a lot of this game. Yeah, that's a player like Chelsea should be looking, personally. But I don't think Napoli want to get rid of him. But so that was a good game. Inter Milan opened their season well as well. 2 wins from 2. This weekend, 3-0 win over Spezia. Lautaro Martinez on the score sheet again, another player. I mean, I think Inter want to keep him. Lukaku with the assist on that goal. Obviously, Lukaku is going to be great in Serie A. We just know he can't do it in the Premier League. Lautaro Calhanoglu, whose name I can't say and everybody loves. And Correa with the goals for them. And then today's game was Roma v Cremonese. Chris Smalling giving Roma a 1-0 win.
Yeah, dedication to Gini Wijnaldum there as well.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So and that's all I got for Serie A. So 2 games in, it's nice and early. There'll be lots. You want to have a look at that player, Diogo? It's pronounced Kvaratskhelia. I'm going to type it in the chat.
Yeah, okay? Type it in chat. I want to see.
Yeah.
Nice.
He is a wonder kid on Football Manager. In this past season's game, he always ends up going to PSG early. If you don't put a bid in the first couple days of a save, he ends up at PSG. It seems like. But yeah, he's fun to watch for sure.
Nice. Any other matches in Serie? Can we move on to Bundesliga, Milo?
That's half Bundesliga.
Yeah, let's go to Bundesliga. Hoff, what's going on in Bundesliga?
Ooh, the Bundesliga. So you probably saw that Bayern Munich just beat the ever-living hell out of Bochum. Sane scored a really nice goal. It was just, I mean, you would expect that it was a traditional Bayern Munich performance. A lot of the Bundesliga Twitter is already crowning them because Dortmund gave up a 2-goal lead in the 89th minute.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They were up 2-0, and everyone's favorite returning Bundesliga team, Werder Bremen, are back, and they scored 3 goals from the 89th minute on, and the winner was actually Oliver Burke. You don't really see a lot of Scott scoring in Germany, but he got the winner in the 95th minute. Leipzig also lost to Union Berlin 2-1. They had been doing pretty well, but Union, they're sneaky. They've been good ever since they've come up. Hoffenheim with a surprise result for a lot of people. They beat Leverkusen 3-0 at Leverkusen. The first goal in that game, if you are bored, go look up Christoph Baumgartner's goal in the 9th minute. It's a really well-worked goal, ends with a back heel past Eradecki. It's a really nice goal. Yeah, and just to get the rest of the results, Gladbach beat Hertha 1-0 on Friday. Augsburg lost 2-1 at home against Mainz. Freiburg beat Stuttgart 1-0. Schalke Wolfsburg was 0-0. And Cologne Frankfurt was 1-1.
Timo Werner's at Leipzig now, yeah? And
yes.
Who's that other guy? No, not Holzig. Somebody else joined Leipzig. That Sesko.
He's joining them next year.
Oh, he's joining them next year. Okay.
Yeah, it was like it was just like the Red Bull pipeline saying that he's gonna go there after this season.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Cool, man. Yeah, we're gonna try to keep up with other leagues as well. Chat, let us know. You act like we think England's the center of the universe. Blah blah blah. Not true. Not true. Not true. We're moving on to our... Oh yeah.
Sorry, you forgot France. PSG. Carry on.
Yeah, PSG. There we go. We got it. We did it. Yeah. I mean, what 7-1 they won today on the weekend? It's crazy, just craziness.
Aussie wants Australian A-League. News.
Oh no! Hold on, what? All right, guys, let's move into the open panel. Oh, you guys, what are you guys even looking at? What am I even showing you guys? Hold on.
Screen share.
Screen share.
Wait, where did I? Oh, there we go. All right, there we go.
Hey.
Guys, these are the top performers. Did you guys have any of these guys in your team? These are the top performers in fantasy. Odegaard with the highest point total. Uh-oh, what happened?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Something just happened. There we go. Odegaard with the highest point total, followed by Saliba, Jack Harrison, and Rodrigo. I think, Milo, you said you had Rodrigo in your squad.
I had Rodrigo, yeah.
Bernardo coming in with, let's see, 15 points. This isn't sorted by total points. Wait, Rodrigo had 35 points? Jesus. Is that right? Am I looking at what's this double star?
Gotta be season total.
That's season total.
Oh, that's season total. Okay.
Yeah, I can tell you how many he had.
Yeah, he had 13 here, according to 13 here.
13.
Saint Maxim Zaha, or Saint Maxim and Bernardo with 13 as well. Zaha Perisic. You had mentioned Perisic had a good game. 12 points for him. Ooh, Rashford got 10 points. And Sancho 10 points. I have Sancho, Fernandez, Rashford every single game, by the way, guys. You know, that they're in every single game, so that worked out for me. Yeah, it's a pretty decent game. In your did you guys win your franchise fantasy games? And if
I
so,
did.
Okay. Who is your best performer on your team?
Let me bring that up. I should have thought about you asking me that. Hoff, feel free to go ahead.
I'm actually bringing it up as well because I'm pretty sure I lost, so I didn't even pay attention today.
Let me look at the league.
I don't have anyone playing on. I don't have anyone from Man United or Liverpool on my team, so I didn't have. There was no way I could get back in.
Yeah. Yeah. Go on. Go for it.
Top of the league in Welcome to Gaming's league is Cheese Leaf Geek with 71 points this week. Jesus Christ. Then we have Cash, Sam Ruth with Jesus Take the Wheel, Robbie Wilson, Waleed's up there as well. Bowen Arrow Vijay is in there. Cultured Left Foot, Suyash, LFC, and I'm 10th. I'm holding on to 10th place, guys. The post Ranić era is in 10th place. Yeah. So, anyways, do you want to share your screen, Milo? We could take a look at the league, maybe, or how would you like to do it?
I'm just going to tell you because I've actually looked it up on my other monitor, but I was playing Manchester United in Hoff's FPL draft this week.
Okay.
I finished with 244.5 against their 181. So it was a thumping. Yeah. My biggest performer was 100% Gabriel Jesus. Actually, no, that's not true. I take that back. It was not Jesus. I thought it was Jesus. I must have been looking at the wrong column earlier. Saliba with 33.5 points. I played Dean Henderson in net, got me 21 points.
Nice.
Yeah, and I mean, Christian Norgard, 26 points. Lewis Dunk, 22.5 points. Jesus, 20. Ollie Watkins, 29. Wilfried Zaha was my biggest scorer, 47 points.
Jesus.
Oh, wow.
So I absolutely crushed it.
And Hoff.
I am the yin to Milo's yang on that one. I started Mendy over Melier, so that was not good because you lose points for errors that lead to goals as well. So that was a killer. And I also had, and I don't feel bad about leaving him on the bench because he hasn't played, but Shea Adams had 51 points and I had him on the bench. So that kind of hurt. So yeah, I did not win. I lost by 63, it looks like, but if I had just those two guys starting, I would have won. So
okay,
I got my lineup wrong.
And just real quick, we just want to recognize that Juzzy has won the league, and for the last 2 years. Juzzy has won the league. He's a fantasy football maestro.
I'm second in my league this year, and the Shadows as well.
Oh, nice.
You're in fourth, I think. Oh.
Sure. The post Ranić era. I check my fantasy on the show, guys. That's how I do it. That's how.
At least the changes you make work for every league you're in, which is cool.
It is nice.
Yeah.
That is nice. Let's just quickly for anyone just joining. Someone had mentioned Keelan, I think. Thank you for the follow, by the way. And we can talk more Manchester United. We talked about it at the top of the show. We can talk more about it after the show. I'll continue streaming for a bit. And yeah. Anyways, but I know it's the big news of the day, So let's move on to the decision room, guys. Let's move on to the decision room. We're gonna take a look at some. Okay, here we go. We're back to the screen. Hold on. Let me get my. There we go. Back to here.
Green.
All right, we're gonna take a look at some of the week's decisions, and I would like your guys' opinions on just your opinions on it. So we'll start with one that we talked about a little bit last week. We talked about this Ousmane Dembele. Chat, I need your guys' opinion as well. We have a Ousmane Dembele situation here. Please tell me what you think the call should be. Milo, you saw this yesterday. Hoff, I'd like to hear your decision as well. There you go. You see that?
He didn't get sent off, did he? Oh, it says nothing given.
Oh, sorry, I
Nice.
meant to hide that. Yeah, nothing was given for this. Nothing was given. This is another angle of the call here. Hold on. There we go. It's coming right. Boom. There. There's the call there. Back to this angle. What are your thoughts? Red, yellow, nothing? What are your thoughts?
Red for me.
Red for you? Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be outraged if he got a yellow for it, but I think that's a red.
Right. So nothing was given there. This was the 10th minute of Sociedad Barcelona game yesterday. It was 1-1 at the time. And
there is a distinct throwing of the elbow motion, and for me,
yeah,
if there's contact off the elbow, that's the only. I wish the replays were better, to be honest.
Yeah, this one's horrible. This is some 1999. You know, if you're trying to shrug off an elbow, you don't shrug off in someone's arm. You don't elbow them.
Yeah,
you push their arm off at least. He doesn't. He doesn't make any movement with his arm. But some people think that it's the right call, and things like this. It looks like there's clear contact, so I don't know. To me, it's pretty clear. But to others believe it's the right call was made. Some people are saying the defender's making a meal out of it. I don't know. I think you have to kind of make a little bit of a meal out of it to get the call. All right, moving on. Let's talk the Rashford onside offside decision here. So this is a still from the game. I hope this is okay that I'm showing this. I'm gonna flip it on OBS just to be safe here. 1 second. There we go. So this is the offside call. This is where the lines were drawn. This is the offside. This is Joe Gomez's shoulder onto the ground, and this is Rashford's foot here. So this is what VAR was looking at, and this is the Gabriel Jesus decision from this weekend as well, which was talked about quite a bit. So this is what the situation is here. Whenever they draw the line, and you got to remember, this is a manually drawn line. This is a change from last year's rule over this summer that they made to the rules, that the thickness that this line is drawn at is a bit of a buffer zone. So, for example, if the line is drawn at this, I think number 33's left foot back here, it's drawn there. So they draw it and they give the line a certain amount of thickness. This is basically leeway, that they're saying if the attacker is within this distance, we're going to make up for our user error and give the attacker the benefit of the doubt. But if you notice down here, you can kind of see pixels. You can see that these two lines are clearly separated from each other. I don't know how clear it is, but that's the reason why this is called offside, because they're saying that both lines are right next to each other and they are not overlapping. Therefore, Jesus is clearly offside. But I will say there is such a big human error to this, because these are hand-drawn lines. In the World Cup, this will all be automated. I wrote some things down. Yeah, so and there will be a semi-automated VAR system during the Champions League next month and the World Cup. This will be the final season of manually picked points for VAR, right? So now it'll be quicker and more accurate, but then we'll get these toenail offside calls because it'll be computer generated. And right now, instead of comparing two planes on an exact point, we're going to be right now we're comparing thicknesses, and that's exactly why Rashford was called onside, is because if you draw a line from Rashford's toe here, he might be offside on a singular thickness plane level, but when you put the thicknesses of the lines, Rashford's line overlaps Joe Gomez's line, and therefore it's called onside. That's the reason why this is called onside, because it's coming down from the shoulder, and you can see that there is some space here, but the pixels are only so strong. That's the reason why this was called. I know there was a bit of controversy about it on Twitter, and even in Discord, some people were saying it's off, it's on, blah blah blah. And it was interesting to learn these rules, because this is called a tolerance level, and Liverpool was actually the club that was pushing for this tolerance level the hardest, and it's being used here because they have so many marginal calls, and putting it on a pin is so difficult.
Having a tolerance level is the dumbest idea.
It's Liverpool's idea.
It's I don't care whose idea it is, the dumbest idea they've come up with in forever, because all it's going to do is create games where one set think it's offside and one, like, it's grey area. It's more grey area. We need less grey area.
Yeah,
that's the
absolutely.
whole problem with VAR. Like, that is, for me, that's offside all day long. You'll never tell me that's onside.
Right. So
ever.
Well, I mean, it looks like Rashford's on the line, right?
Can I ask? I've seen another picture from the other angle where the line goes through his foot. Is that bullshit?
Let me see if I have it.
Is that a meme?
Let me see if I have it.
Because I saw that earlier today, and I was like, what? Like, there's a picture of the line going through the foot, and I don't know, maybe somebody made it up, so that's why I was asking. Let me see.
How have they not developed a camera that just goes up and down the sideline like the linesman?
I don't know.
No, I got a picture. Hang on.
This is from Dale Johnson. These are. Oh, it didn't go to the tweet. That was in his comments here. So Manchester United have conceded 2 goals in recent games due to the tolerance level being applied against Norwich in April and Brighton on the first weekend of the season. So this is that same rule here being used. They draw the line from Maguire. Let me open this in a new tab. Right, they draw the line from Maguire's last point. If you call it on a straight, just plain level, this guy's offside. But because of the tolerance level, he's called onside. Yeah. It's marginal, Mordecai. It's marginal, my dude.
I sent it to you, but I don't know if it's going to work properly, so don't worry about it. But
let's see.
It's a zoomed-in picture of Rashford's foot. I mean, it could be doctored, but it came out very, very quickly. It's an awful picture.
that is a bad picture.
Why when you're showing it is it reversed, by the way?
To be safe, so we don't get copyrighted on YouTube.
Okay,
yeah, because then we gotta. Yeah. No, we can talk after the stream, after the show. I'll defend this to the grave. All right, last one. I'm not saying the tolerance level is good or bad. I'm just saying that's what the call is. Right, that's what the call is. It's not about other things. All right, this is a penalty decision we reviewed last night quite a bit in the Crystal Palace Villa game when they were tied 1-1. Luca Digne was called for a handball. This is the handball here. Off of I think Mateta's head, or I don't know whose head it is actually. Here it is. Header, and then off the hand there. What are you guys' thoughts here? Checking a possible penalty. This was not called by the ref.
No pen for me.
No pen for you. Hoff?
No.
No pen. Penalty was given. Penalty was given for this, for handball. Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. Chat, what do you guys think? No pen? Pen? No pen?
I mean, I want the VAR ref to go on a field and show me his reaction time to somebody, a Premier League footballer heading the ball down at his arm, same distance, and tell if he can move his arm out the way.
I guess the question is, was Digne's arm in an unnatural position?
That shouldn't be the question, but I get where you're saying it. Like, I think if you move
That's
it,
definitely the question. That's why the penalty is given.
No.
You don't. Why do you think the penalty is given? His arm's in an unnatural position.
Yeah, but that's just
that's
more
the
bullshit.
call I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's the question.
It's more. Yeah,
that's the
more
question.
bullshit.
Do you not jump with your arms out, though?
You don't jump like this. I was never taught to jump like this. I was taught to jump like this. You know, when you go.
Yeah, but he's already got one arm on the not defender, on Mateta. He can't just jump up. I don't know.
Now,
But are you telling me in the heat of battle, you've never just thrown yourself at a ball? You have no idea what your arms are doing every single
absolutely,
second.
you know what your arms are doing.
No, you.
Absolutely, your whole job as a defender is not to commit a handball offense. It's to win the ball without committing a handball offense. You go into tackles. Look at Van Dijk today. He was speed skating. He had his hands behind his back.
I've said it on this show many times. In my opinion, handball for penalties should be ball to hand. Hand to ball, not ball to hand. That's how I feel about it. I've always felt that way.
That is true, but if your arm's in an unnatural position is the question. If it's in an unnatural position and ball to hand, then it can be a penalty.
What if I'm just about to scratch an itch on my shoulder right as the corner's taken, and then I have to oh my god, and I jump like I'm. Yeah. It all happens in a split second.
It's a game of football. Robot. It's a game of seconds.
No, like that is.
It's a game of split seconds.
I'm sorry, I just can't agree with that, man.
We did some further investigation, and it seems like the actual call that should have been called is. We concluded that on the kick there was some contact between Digne and the attacker. I still don't know his name. Right here on the back post, you can see it. Digne is this one over here on your right on stream, but you'll see a bit of a push here. That if Digne exaggerates, he would have got a call. Take a look. Boom, clear push. And then that's when Digne grabs his arm, tries to recover. He's out of position. He tries to jump, right? He tries to jump forward because he's out of position. Right? He pushes him out of the way here. So I feel that's where the real call could have been. And I hate to say it, but had Digne taken a dive, maybe the VAR would have seen that. But he didn't. He chose to stay on his feet and try to challenge the ball after being clearly pushed right there. Right.
Jizzy's asking the question, and I've always said this, Jizzy, you could, not that I'm asking you to, but you could go back through a million things where I've talked about handball. I've always felt it should be more like the NHL kicking thing, where there needs to be a distinct hand-to-ball motion for me, for it to be a deliberate handball. I don't think an accidental handball should be a penalty. I've never thought it should be.
Yeah, it accidental. But so if I just have my arm out here and it accidentally hits my hand, you don't think it should be penalty?
I mean, it's subjective for each.
It's absolutely subjective. Absolutely.
It is, but it's also it's got to be reviewed each case for its merits, right? And I think in this case, whether his arm was in that position or not, like the guy headed it down to him, and it was like less than 2 feet away. There's just and it's off a corner. There's no chance he can move his arm out the way for that.
He's not. The point isn't that he's supposed to move his arm out of the way. The point is his arm shouldn't be there.
I mean,
his body's unnaturally bigger.
Yeah. We could go around on this forever, because I will never agree that you can't have your arms anywhere but straight down to the side of you.
You can have them here.
I can't see you. Hold on.
This area. Like doing a chicken dance.
Okay.
This area. You can have them here. Fine.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
Even like, you go for a block, people have stuck their arms out here and it hits them on accident. That's a penalty. You
there are
gotta have it down here.
There are center forwards that make a living of going up like this for a corner.
Absolutely. No.
Strike.
Now, if we're talking about whether the rules are fair, like like for example, he gets away with a massive push here on a much smaller opponent. Right, he gets away with a massive. By the way, guys, the quiz is about to start. Get your quiz stuff. Sorry, get your quiz stuff ready on screen.
And this is my point. This is my point with VAR and all of this stuff. It isn't. It needs to be fair, though. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it needs to be fixed.
Big push.
The gray area is the problem.
Absolutely. But yeah, I see. It's sad, but if Digne falls flat on the floor, screams in French, and rolls like maybe like a half roll, he gets a call there, and that's the sad part.
Actually, that's not true, because last week, we saw a massive hair pull at a corner that wasn't given.
Well, that's true. That's true. I think did Cucurella make a big deal out of it though?
I mean, you have to when you get assaulted and thrown to the ground by your hair.
That's the problem without a strict strict VAR is you have to make a meal of things, and that's why people get upset at divers is because you have to appeal to the refs. If you don't appeal to the refs, you're not going to get a call. Just like I don't know.
It shouldn't be the case. It should be refereed, and everything should be seen and dealt with. Bang,
absolutely,
bang.
I 100% agree. But I'm just saying that's the situation now. Is that if Digne goes down on this push, then maybe he gets a call, and then this handball situation doesn't even matter. But the fact that he doesn't go down and holds onto his shirt and tries to challenge, and then in his effort to regain his balance, he puts his arm in an unnatural position.
Then why, when they reviewed it, didn't they catch the push before that?
No clue.
So that's a problem for me right there. It's the same
I
with
completely agree.
It's the same with the Cucurella thing. Like, they reviewed the goal to make sure it was a goal, but they didn't include that pulling down by the hair as part of that review. That is a massive problem in the Premier League. Like
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
It makes me mad. I'm getting mad.
Yeah, no, we got to move on though. I know. I want to keep talking about it too. It's. Oh, hold on. Let me close this up here. Guys, get ready for the quiz. We got a limited time. Hoff, you okay for about 10 minutes?
I'm good.
Okay, sorry.
Chat, just know that Cartwheel's picking the most controversial ones that he knows will push buttons, right? So I'm ready. I'm ready to have my buttons
to be honest, this week, the VAR was very good otherwise. No calls in the Arsenal game. The United call, I think we've gotten to the bottom. We can talk later about that. No calls in the Chelsea game. No calls in the Arsenal game. VAR, that stuff is the offside ones are a little tricky. But all right, guys, if you're a Liverpool fan, you'll want to tune in for this one. You'll want to tune in for this one. On your screen above, kind of where Hoff is, where the chat kind of goes into Hoff, there should be a little on-screen thing that pops up. And the winner gets a slideshow on the stream. This week it was a Chelsea slideshow from Waleed. The week before that it was an Arsenal from a slideshow from Milo. Very nice, very nice. For me, this issue. Okay, we can talk more about this if you guys would like to after the show. But let's get to the show because it's getting late on the East Coast. First question. Who played a record 417 consecutive games for Liverpool? Was it Ray Clements, Phil Neal, Graeme Souness, or Phil Thompson? Who played a record 417 consecutive games for Liverpool? Ray Clements, Phil Neal, Graeme Souness, or Phil Thompson? Phil Thompson.
I love that it says Graeme Sourness because that is Graeme Souness. That's great.
Yeah, I missed that. All right.
Also, when I...
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. We've been...
When I'm playing on my computer, which is not functional right now, I never see a score above like 25,000. I didn't know it started at 30,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The correct answer is Phil Neal. Almost half getting that one right. I have no idea who that is. Oh. Real quick, Milo, your favorite Phil Neal moment.
My favorite Phil Neal moment.
Do you know Phil Neal? I'm just
I know Phil.
One. Oh, okay.
I did get the question correct, and I know Phil Neal, but no, I don't. I don't have a favorite Phil Neal moment. He's not a player whose any highlights are in my memory anymore.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say I don't know who it is either. All right, next question. What team were Liverpool facing when the tragic Hillsborough disaster took place? Was it Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, or Leeds? Bournemouth, Nottingham Forest, Fulham, or Leeds? Hitting the negative scores, Greg. What did Milo say? Milo said it was not a penalty. For me, the issue is that we do not know what they're saying. Rugby includes the chat. It won't stop fans from claiming bias or logical mind would at least explain the subjective. Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Waleed's only asked that so he can do whatever I did, just so you know. I'm going to throw that out there.
Gotcha. I can see Mourinho being all over the tactic like that.
New tactic. Chelsea are suffering. Waleed's been in a weird mood all week.
Correct answer is Nottingham Forest. Well done, guys. Majority of you guys got that one. All right. Next question. As soon as it goes up. VAR needs to catch these things, but they don't in England. All right, here we go. Next question is, who was Jurgen Klopp's first signing as Liverpool manager in January 2016? Who was his first signing, guys? Was it Joel Matip, Sadio Mane, Gini Wijnaldum, or Marko Grujic? Deliberate is not in the rule anymore, though. By the way, Dale Johnson did not point out the shove on Digne beforehand. Hey, Sam, welcome in. How are you? You're back out to negative scores? Oh, no. All right, the correct answer is Marko Grujic. Only one person getting that one right. Sneaky answer, this one, huh? Sneaky. All right, next question. Sorry, I'm moving a little quickly, guys. How did former Liverpool captain Steven Gerrard celebrate goals against Manchester United in both 2009 and 2014? Swung from the goalpost, kissed the camera, did a backflip, punched the air. Oh, 2009 and 2014. I thought it was 2009 through 2014, but it's not. That's not. 4 years ago, 10 different linesmen would have made a completely variable call for any of those. This is as accurate as offside has ever been. Yeah, so now technology is going to get involved in offside, right? So it's going to be all computer-generated images and 3D models where there's no... Because in these images, the VAR is putting a pinpoint where he thinks the furthest point is. The correct answer, kiss the camera. Now, he kissed the camera. Punch the air. He kissed the camera.
I thought it was punch the air. There's a lot of Gerrard punch in the air clips, right? So
right.
I guess that would have been my second.
Which of the following players has played the most Premier League games for the club at a total of 508? Steven Gerrard, Andy Carroll, Steve McManaman, or Jamie Carragher? Who has played the most games for Liverpool? Premier League games.
I'm surprised they don't have some kind of like Hawkeye thing like they have for the goals or tennis for offside. I know it's moving.
Yeah.
And tennis lines aren't moving.
You know what I want to see is in cricket, right? The LBWs, like before wickets. I don't know, if you don't know cricket, you don't know what I'm talking about. But they show the trajectory of the ball had it not, had it gone through. And I think that would be so cool if they could do that in football, like a shot that gets blocked. If they could just show the actual trajectory, it would be really cool. All right, the correct answer is Jamie Carragher. Jamie Carragher holds the record. And it's an on-screen thing, Sam. Sorry, I was looking through chat and I missed your later messages. It's on screen. There's a little widget in the side of the screen, or on Hoff is. Oh, that was on the question. Milo is in the lead, guys. Milo. Ooh, I think Milo's. I think if you don't answer, you're good, right? Or can Hoff catch him?
How many more questions are there?
One. There's
Just
one more question.
Oh, okay.
Damn, Milo's in the lead, then Hoff, then Iran. Dang, Milo, you get to add to your slideshow as well, by the way. It's not just you get to. It's not 3 brand new. You can add a new sound effect and a slideshow, or 3 more pictures.
Nice.
So two total sound effects if you want. All right, here we go. The final question is. What is the final question? Which player has scored the most goals in matches between Liverpool and Manchester United? Is it Wayne Rooney, Robbie Fowler, Mohamed Salah, or Steven Gerrard? Wayne Rooney, Robbie Fowler, Mohamed Salah, or Steven Gerrard? So Sam, if you joined us a little earlier, there's a little thing. If you're on PC, it's on screen. If you kind of hover over it, you'll see it. Click it, and you can click activate the overlay. Yeah, Quiz Kit, exactly. Quiz Kit, that's what it's called. Sorry, Quiz Kit. And if you're on mobile, it's right above chat. You'll see it right above chat, a little Quiz Kit thing. Yeah. So next time you can hop in, and if you win, you get a slideshow. All right, the correct answer is Mohamed Salah. Mohamed Salah is the correct answer. They mentioned it a couple times during the broadcast I was watching. You know, and Milo. Let's see what Milo did on that one. Let's see the final scores here.
I bet 500 points, basically.
Oh,
Took it to the corner.
tight decision. Tight win. But Milo takes the win again. Milo takes the win again. Let's see. Ozzy in fourth, Iran in third. We got Cash in seventh. Greg with the negative 135. That's impressive, Greg. That's impressive. Well done, guys. Well done, guys. Hey, Milo, you get three brand new images to your beautiful slideshow that you already have. So you got a total.
I'm gonna start work on them shortly.
We got a couple more minutes of the show left here, guys. Give me a highlight of the week you guys had. Highlight of the week. Hoff, anything? Well, I can tell your computer went kaput today, so that's a little light.
I had a highlight until I tried to turn my computer on, and then it didn't turn back on. I was just upgrading my parts, and apparently I'm not as good at upgrading as I thought I was.
Oh, that's a bummer. Dude, tech issues are the worst. It's so weird because
so frustrating.
Right? You know, what's Elon Musk's widow? Not a widow. Ex Grimes. She calls us techno human, homo techno or something, like Homo erectus, Homo techno, because we're like so connected to technology, and like just imagine like your hand stops working. You know what I mean? That's how connected to technology we're, and I think that's why it's so frustrating. Because like,
yeah,
isn't it crazy? It's crazy. Anyways, it is what it is. Good, bad, whatever. We can discuss that later. Milo, do we have a highlight, low light of the week?
Yeah. Yesterday's league race was just a really good one for me at Indianapolis. I actually finished P6 overall and P3 in class. So I had a really good race. There was a couple of big names that were absent due to one had technical issues. We
don't got to talk about that.
No, but you know what? Like third in class, 6 overall. I mean, I was super happy with that, man. Like I've been seeing some improvement, but they've done a BOP update today, so I've got to see what that's done to the car.
BOP, what does that mean?
So it's balance of performance. So
okay,
it's so that each car is competitive on certain tracks, but also not too far away from all the other cars on all the tracks.
That's good.
And
I like that.
It is, but they don't ever get it right. There's always an OP car, and like, so if you look at a season calendar, like you can say, okay, if I choose this car, 6 of those 8 races are going to be on tracks the car is really good at. Whereas we want it to be closer.
Okay. Monday nights, is everyone uses the same car, or is that a different night?
That was tonight, yeah. Monday night, everyone in a BMW M2. It's a slower car. It's it's not a GT car. It's just like a road car. It's got no TC, no ABS. It's really fun, really close racing. It's really cool.
Yeah, nice. Anything else you want to share before we get into our predictions? We got a joke, or maybe you want to do the joke at the end, or you want to do the joke now?
I can do it now.
All right, let's do it now. Let's do the weekly joke, guys. Get ready.
What did the drummer call his twin daughters?
What did the drummer call his twin daughters? I don't know. What do you call them?
Anna 1, Anna 2.
Wait. The door? Why? I missed something. Why the door?
No, his daughters.
Oh, daughters. Anna 1, Anna 2. I think he said his
ruined it.
doors. Sorry.
You ruined
I was
it.
like, what did he name his doors? I was like, Anna? Damn, I ruined it. Lost in translation.
Oh,
Daughter. You said, say daughter again.
daughter.
One more. All right, whatever.
Daughters.
Sound check.
Daughters.
I thought you said. I literally thought you. I thought you said doors.
Yes,
Doors.
I have an English accent.
Doors. 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 That's a good way to say it, though. Doors. Did you guys see? Yeah,
Yeah, it's the only way I can say it.
Doors. Doors. Did you guys see House of Dragons? The new Game of Thrones show?
I did
Oh, not yet, but I
It's
want
nice. It's nice. It's got that same kind of aesthetic, you know. So it's
Okay.
nice. It picks up. It's nice. All right, guys, real quick before the end of the show, we're nearing our end. Nottingham versus Tottenham Hotspur next weekend. We need predictions for that game. Nottingham versus Spurs. I feel like this is the most exciting. Honestly, there are a lot of games, but this seems like the most interesting to me. Oh, and by the way, while you guys are thinking of that, last week, Culture Left Foot had 2-1 Manchester United in the predictions. By the way, he did say Garnacho double, and he jokingly said that. And honestly, a lot of us thought he was joking, but he was absolutely right. It was 2-1. Waleed had the opposite answer. Waleed had 2-1 Liverpool. Everyone had either Liverpool winning. A couple people had a draw. Hoff had a draw, 1-1. Greg had a 2-2 draw. I had a 4-1 Liverpool win. Milo had a 2-0. 2-0 Liverpool
2-0.
win.
Okay.
Yeah. But Cultured said 1-1, and then that was his second. That was his, kind of more serious. But we kind of talked him into that one. He initially said 1-2 United, so he's got to be pretty happy. All right. Okay. Here we go. We got 2-0 Tottenham from Aussie. 2-0 Tottenham. Spurs 3-1. Okay. 3-1 Spurs for Sam.
2-1 Forrest, me.
2-1 Forrest. Oh, I like that. I like that. Linmer 3-0 Spurs. Linmer. Sam 3-1. Greg.
One of those games underestimate at your peril.
Yeah, and Nottingham looked really, really good. Great. Talking about energy, they look really good. 2-0. Anyone else
They're
got
certainly
a...
playing with no fear, aren't they? And that will cost them some big scorelines. But
Greg's going 4-0 Nottingham. Sorry. You said 4-0 United, Cash?
Cash has 2-1
Oh, you were.
Forest.
I don't think you were there for the predictions of Cash last week. Hoff, do you have a prediction?
Oh, I didn't get one. 5-2 Tottenham.
Oh, beautiful. I'm gonna go 3-0. No, someone already has 3-0. I'm gonna go. Someone has 3-1. I'll go 4-2. Tottenham. I think it's gonna be a humbling day for Nottingham. We'll see though. Same aesthetic where we build up storylines. All right, real quick. Sorry. I'll read the rest of. I'm gonna review chat after the show because there's a lot going on. Hoff, anything you want to shout out before next week's show? Anything to look out for? Oh, we lost Milo.
It's race week.
Yes.
F1's back.
It
Finally.
is.
So that'll be something I'm looking forward to this weekend. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'm looking forward to.
Where is F1 this week?
Spa,
Okay.
Spa, Belgium. Yep.
Belgium. Nice.
Yeah, that'll be a good welcome back from the summer break.
Okay. Yeah. Milo, welcome back. Milo, anything you want to shout out before we wrap up tonight?
Yeah, I'm enjoying. Obviously, I'm looking forward to F1. Yeah, there'll be stuff on the stream this week. Maybe some
guys.
F1, ACC, definitely some Hitman on Saturday. I'm enjoying my Hitman 2 playthrough. I'm going to lead that into Hitman 3. And yeah, Yeah, some eFootball, my alphabet formation challenge, which is ridiculous.
Yeah,
and I went undefeated last night with A, B, C, and D. So I only changed letters if I draw or lose, and I got lots of wins, scored some great goals last night. It was probably the best I've played on eFootball last night, which is really funny.
Very good, man. Well, yeah, we'll be back next week. Another show. Maybe we'll have a guest. Maybe we won't. We'll see. We'll have to play it by ear. Thank you guys in chat always for joining. I'm going to stream a little bit after the show as well. We can talk some more United or referee calls or anything. But I will see you guys next time. Thank you, Milo. Thank you, Hoff.
Thank you for having me, man.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Bye, chat.
It's the Monday Weekend Wrap Up. 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 It's the Monday Weekend